Hey guys, so this is gonna be a weird video because it's not a build guide, it's not really, and well, I guess it is an update to my first character of this league, and so I actually forgot to record anything, so I'm gonna have to play back the stream, so the quality is gonna be bad, but who cares, it's gonna be pixelated no matter what. So this build started, this is a Frankenstein build. This is the most Frankenstein build I ever did, and not because it has some cool mechanics, but because I started the build as a kinetic bolt wander and mainly focusing on kinetic bolt damage, not spellslinger or anything, not proccing anything, but mainly on kinetic bolt. I was doing only white tier maps, wasn't doing any high tier maps at all. Like this one is level 69. Well, the clear speed wasn't that bad, but my single target was so bad I absolutely have to use some kind of single target setup, and I don't want to. If I would use some single target setup, I would use power siphon with barrage. But here's the thing, I checked PUB numbers, did some science, and I found out that there's like no point using kinetic bolt at all. Now you're gonna see my single target. Actually, I haven't seen this. Yeah. The single target is not great, but I'm using GMP instead of barrage, so obviously it's not great. I could be swapping into barrage, and I do swap into barrage instead of GMP. But here's the thing, if you use power siphon, let's take a look at path for building. If you're using kinetic bolt, this is my clear speed setup. This is, by the way, more min-max with better items than what I had, and this is at level 90. I was even using Markov the Shaper, which was giving a lot of damage, but this is not fully min-max build, but I wanted to show the difference between kinetic bolt and power siphon. So this is a 6-link kinetic bolt with the clear speed setup. You use GMP, obviously not barrage for clear speed. Well, I guess you could use barrage for clear speed, but okay. So 178,000 combined DPS with kinetic bolt. Switch to power siphon. You no longer need GMP because it shoots many projectiles anyway, and you can use, let's say, hypothermia. Boom, 310,000. And that is because I also took this, which is like 4-pointer. For 4 points you basically have the same effect as kinetic bolt, but on a better skill. So the damage was almost doubled already. And then we go into single target setup. Just use barrage. Boom, 600,000. As for kinetic bolt, it would only be 300,000. So by taking 4 points on the passive skill tree and using power siphon, you double the damage than you would have with the kinetic bolt. So I got so disappointed by that. The skill looks cool, but it just, I mean, it's not really efficient at all. So I got very disappointed by that and converted the build into spellslinger. And I decided to use frenzy skill, because what's the point of using other advanced skills like kinetic bolt if I can use frenzy and generate frenzy charges on a single target easily. So I'm using frenzy to trigger spellslingers. I'm triggering arc and I'm triggering ball lighting. I have those two linked on 4 link, I believe. Both are linked on a 4 link. So frenzy gives me frenzy charges, has scores on hit, I believe has scores on hit, and it did feel like a massive improvement. And that's what people have been telling me, that in my first video I said that kinetic bolt just doesn't feel that great, and people were saying that they were using spellslinger and that felt much better. But then it's no longer a kinetic bolt build, it's more like a spellslinger, and this is what I did, so it felt already better. But after a while, after playing for an hour or two, it was like playing a scuffed version of Poet's Pen build. By the way, in order to convert from Wander, because I had a lot of Wand nodes, I also had Eldritch Battery, went all the way here. I used like 30 regret orbs. What happened? Oh yeah, I ripped and then kind of quit the build. I used like 30 regret orbs and converted the passive skill tree to work better with the spellslinger, so I dropped all the Wand nodes, I got more spell crit, I refunded all of these, went more into the left side of the passive skill tree. In the end, it just didn't feel like a proper build. So I basically used almost all of my currency to refund into spellslinger, and it just was bad, and I was already thinking of doing a new build. But then I thought, I'm gonna try stormbind, and that's what I did, because I was already speccing a lot into spell crit and spell damage and lighting damage. So I thought I'm gonna just see how it works, and I probably should make a separate video about this spell, about the stormbind. I keep forgetting its name. About the stormbind, because in short, it's probably one of the clunkiest skills ever. Not only that you channel and do no damage. Why am I face palming? Oh, I'm just frustrated that the build sucks. Not only that you channel and do no damage, but you need to channel 2 skills to do damage at all. It does have damage potential, don't get me wrong, because those AoEs can overlap, but it's just so goddamn clunky. First you channel to place runes doing no damage unless you have casual channeling, but you cannot have casual channeling with the rune blast, because both are channeling. You can't channel the channeling skill, so you had to channel them twice. Oh my god, I'm cutting. This is painful to watch. Of course, this is not properly min-max build, but you channel to place runes, and then you channel another thing to use mana and improve those runes. And on paper it doesn't sound that bad, but when you play it, 2 skills that have delay is just horrible. Flame Blast is much better. You just channel, do no damage, and then suddenly boom, do damage. But this channel, do no damage, then switch into the other skill, start channeling, still do no damage, then release, and then boom. Unless you have casual channeling, and I did try using casual channeling with arc for this, but I was lacking mana, and it just was painful, very painful. So then we move into the next day. So this is a 4th iteration of this build. First I started kinetic build, then turned into spellslinger, then tried stormbind, and now someone said maybe you could try Ice Nova, and I thought, hey, actually I'm assassin. I got all the spell crit nodes, got some spell damage, some cast speed since I'm assassin, power charge generation is easy. I could do just Ice Nova with the frostbolt, and this is what I did. Of course, this is still massively scuffed build, so don't judge me too much for using kind of metals build. I have an idea how to turn it into a different version of metals build, because I don't really want to be using just normal, I guess, Ice Nova. I have no currency. I have 17 hairs left. I can't really sell too many things to make currency, so I got a 6-link, very scuffed body armor, nothing special at all. The wand, I found it. The gloves I bought. I bought a couple items, but most of my items are not great at all. And my Ice Nova build doesn't have much damage. This is more min-max than what I have right now. I'm actually thinking of doing Malachi's Awakening and going blood magic, and getting the Supreme Ego Elegant Hubris Jewel. The Supreme Ego, if you don't know, it gives you 50% more aura effect, but you can only use 1 aura. And it also reserves 50% more mana. So to counter that Elegant Hubris, I'm using Malachi's Awakening, which gives Mortal Conviction, which does not properly work in Path of Building, which allows you to use 1 aura for free. So my aura is gonna give me a lot of damage, and I'm not gonna need to worry about the mana cost. So currently I have slight issues with mana cost. Also the Pleasure of Hands, I would actually try using Pleasure of Hands, but I'm super broke and the Pleasure of Hands I would need like 100 hairs more. So I'm not sure, maybe I will be able to get the currency and use Pleasure of Hands, but I would rather try something different and go with the blood magic, but then I would have even less life, and I would even use life to cast spells, but the damage could be almost comparable, and I don't know, this is just a Frankenstein build. I don't even know what to do. But it's also kind of interesting for me to kind of go from one build into like completely different build, and then rework that into a different build. But that is also causing me to be always broke and have no currency left. So I don't know, maybe next video I will improve this build and it will feel better. It's alright damage, it's maybe 800,000, maybe 700,000 in the current state, but I would like to improve it, and it should get like 1.5 million DPS, which should be fine. We'll see how the build will feel like, but I actually want to start a new build, but I kind of don't want to finish don't want to finish this build just yet. So I'm gonna continue doing this build for 1 or 2 more days, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm gonna start a new build. If I can farm currency, I would love to do Indigon build with the new Archmage support gem. That thing is completely busted. If you don't know, Archmage support gem gives you like quadruple your damage if you can afford the mana spent and if you invest into mana. I may try that, but I mean, it's gonna be meta. I don't know if I want to mess with meta things. Here you go, 40 deaths. 40 deaths, and I'm like level 86 now, still doing white tier maps, hardly doing any yellow tier maps at all, and still dying from time to time, so I don't know. Anyway, that's it for now. Next video should be in like 2 days. Maybe it's gonna be a conclusion to this build, maybe I'm gonna be starting a new build, we'll see. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.